Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Trading Card Game live video. My name is Jamie and today I'll be taking you through the first place deck that featured at the Champions League in Aichi over in Japan just recently. But of course, just before we do go into this video, if you do like some content and would like to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, then as always be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. So let's have a look at the deck that won the tournament. So I know that we reviewed a lot of Gardevoir already, even with Jellicent as well, but this was a huge tournament with over 6,500 players. So we kind of need to have a look at this. And there's a couple of new inclusions to the deck, so to say. So let's have a look at the winning place list of the tournament, and of course it was a Guardy build, which should come to no surprise to most of us by now just how good this deck is. So it revolves around this card here, Gardevoir EX, 310 HP Psychic type, Stage 2 EX, and Miracle Force 190, pretty good, it's pretty solid, you can two-shot most things, remove all special conditions from this Pokemon. So, but it's this ability here that we predominantly use it for, Psychic Embrace, as long as you like, or sorry, as often as you like. During your turn, you may search for your discard pile for Psychic energies and attach them to your Pokemon any way that you like, and then you take 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So, normally the damage counters would be a drawback, but that's actually sometimes, or I think most of the times, a plus, because we can utilize that with other cards in the deck. So. But yeah, so resistance to fighting, and has a weakness to dark as well. So as does most of this deck, is weak to dark. So dark, generally speaking, is a bad matchup, but we'll have a look at that in a little bit. So, of course, other Pokemon that best pair well with that, of course, is Munkidori, because what you can do is move that damage off your Pokemon and place them onto other things. So, for instance, yeah, so if you're trying to do more damage while heal your Pokemon in the process, and then that's the idea. Put the damage on and remove it. But of course, you do have cards like Screamtail in there as well for Roaring Scream. So this build does not play Drifloon, but yeah, with Roaring Scream, so it does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You can choose any Pokemon, including bench Pokemon as well, for 20 times the amount of damage counters it has on it as well. So in most cases, it's usually a positive thing, putting damage counters on your Pokemon. So certainly in the case of Screamtail, you want to get that damage as high as you possibly can. It's only a 1 prizer as well, and then you can do large amounts of damage. That's the idea. So with things like Bravery Charm, you can put even more damage on there as well, and hit bigger numbers and try and one-shot things, including things on the bench. So that's the idea behind that. But otherwise, yeah, if not, you have Munkidori, that's the healer, or it can move damage and set up plays as well. That's the other Pokemon that you have. Of course, its partner in crime is Jellicent EX. So really, really solid. So stage 1, 270 HP, quite strong. Weak to dark, which again, as I said, most of the deck is weak to dark, but there are a lot of dark Pokemon in the format. But it does have this ability here, Oceanic Curse, which as long as it's in the active spot, then your opponent cannot play any tool cards or any item cards. That's really, really strong. Can certainly lock your opponent out of doing things, so forces them to have to like bosses around it. So that's the idea. But then you Power Press, 80 damage, and if it has 2 more extra energy on it, does 160. So you can, with Munkidori, get that up a little bit higher, that's 190. Depending on how much damage you're moving over as well. If you have 2 Munkidoris, then you can also get that to like 220, I believe. So that would knock out things like, for like Fezandipitis and Ogapons, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the other partner in crime that you have there. And of course, some other interesting techs as well. So of course, Lillie's Clefairy EX, which is a staple for Fairy Zone. So puts the Dragapult matchup very heavily in your favor. As with Fairy Zone, makes all the dragon weaknesses to become psychic. And of course, this card here, Mega Diancie EX as well. Again, another really solid attacker. Has this ability here, Diamond Coat, so 30 less damage from attacks. That is after applying damage, weakness and resistance. So that's pretty solid. And its attack here, Garden Ray, so 120. You can discard up to 2 Psychic Energy, and we don't really care about the discard because we have Psychic Embrace. And it does 120 damage for each Psychic Energy that you discard in this way. So 2 Psychic Energy, you can discard max of 240. You can get up to 270 with Munkidori. 300 if you have 2 Munkidoris, so depending on the circumstances. But what is very notable about this, and I think one of the reasons why a lot of people do play Mega Diancie, is because of its weakness. So your whole deck is weak to dark. However, this card is weak to metal Pokemon. So It's not really too much metal in the format, so that's why it's just a very solid attacker if you are in that matchup. If you are against, I don't know, a Grimmsnarl, if you're against an Absol, anything like that, then Mega Diancie might be the way to go with that. So it's a really good attacker in its own right. The only issue, of course, is that it's a Mega Pokemon, which means that if it gets knocked out, you can see 3 prize cards, so do keep that in mind. But nonetheless, a very solid attacker. So, of course, and then the other things we have, just a Fezandipiti there for Flip the Script, and of course a Mew EX in there as well. So, for restart, so once during your turn, you can draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Another really good thing that you can do with Mew EX, which I found to be very good in testing, is if you are against the anti-meta matchup, i.e. Crustle. So Crustle's attack means that it's not affected by any attacks or any effects on the defending Pokemon. So what you can do is you can use this attack here with Mew EX for 3 colors, and you can copy the attack and then actually attack the Crustle even though you're an EX Pokemon. So that's really, really solid. So that's something that I have seen in testing. So if you're against any anti-meta decks with Crustle, then Mew EX is the way to go. Or of course, Screamtail will be the other obvious inclusion. So, but yeah. So that's the Pokemon line. Let's have a look at the trainer line. Pretty standard here. 2 Earthen Vessels. Again, you just want to try and ditch as much Psychic Energy into this card pile as you possibly can. That's the idea. And you can also search out your Dark Energy, which you play less of. So Lillie's in there. Only 1 Counter Catcher. 4 Iono, 1 Turos. Technical Machine Devolution as well, just to try and devolve your opponent's Pokemon. So you can move the damage counters over, you can use Screamtail, and you can just hit them as well, and then later just de-evolve them with TM Devolution. That also works. Night Stretchers, Ultra Balls, 4 Ultra Balls, very, very strong here. So kind of necessary. Again, not only searches, but you want to get your Psychic Energy into the discard pile as quickly as you can. And then later you can get them back with Psychic Embrace, that's the idea. So, Super Odd, 1 Research. Again, you want to try and push sometimes, get those energies into the discard pile, so 1 Research is good. Nest Ball's A-Spec of choice is Secret Box. Again, more discarding, and then you can search for just key resources that you need. For example, things like Rare Candies, things like Bravery Charms, if you want to get a Bravery Charm onto your Screamtail, for instance. And yeah, and then the other things are just 1 Artazon. It's a very good early game searcher for things like Munkidori, and things like your Ralts, or I don't know, your... what else do we have? Or Frillish even, for example. Then you can search those out. And yeah, so all of these fall under the category of 70 HP, oh, sorry, more than 70 HP. So Buddy Buddy doesn't really become a play here. So again, we've got Munkidori in there. No real reason to play Buddy Buddy, because everything minus your Ralts is above 70 HP though. So yeah, so you've got Artazon for that reason. And of course 1 Mystery Garden in there as well. So again, another way of drawing cards, and of course ditching Psychic Energy. That's the idea. So, and then energy looks a little bit like this. So 7 Psychic and 3 Dark there. 3 Dark for your Munkidori. That's the idea. So, but yeah, really, really solid deck. Came first at the Champions League Aichi over in Japan recently. That was a tournament contested by, I think, 6,500 people. I think more, a little bit more than that, but something around that number. But yeah, so that's the theory anyway. I'll leave the list in the description box below, so you can go check it out a little bit later on if you want to see what you think of the deck. But let's go play some games with it and see how it plays out in practice. Okay, heads or tails, let's go with heads. So I think first is a good idea. If we can go first, which it looks like we probably won't, but I think going first is optimal, just to evolve. Try and get it. We don't play TM Evolution. Oh, we'll go first. Interesting. Cool. All right, so we'll stick Latias active for the moment. Then we'll stick Ralts down as well. What are they playing? Alakazam. Interesting. Okay. So probably want to try and lead with Jellicent here. That's the idea. Should probably point out as well, I mean, you already know. But Frillish can also attack for 1 Psychic Energy, and that can item lock your opponent as well. So it's also worth keeping that in mind. Let's get Frillish out. Yep, nice. Yeah, so we have this attack here. Yeah, so Oceanic Gloom, 20 damage, and yeah, your opponent cannot play any item cards, so they can still play tools, but for the at the very least, item cards they can't play. So let's just grab, I don't know, 2, why not? Just to try and ditch some energy into the discard pile. There we go. And turn on that and see what our opponent does. Surprised that they want to go, unless they've got like Pressure Shot or something like that, I'm surprised they want to go second here. Or they've got TM Evolution, I don't know. So next turn we attach the energy. And then we try and push with Jellicent here just to try and item lock them, because I think they do rely on a lot of item cards. And tools as well. I think we've got EXP share in there as well, I think. Okay, not bad. Oh, there we go, the Jellicent. Nice, good top deck. Cool, let's Lilies, why not? Let's get the maximum 8 while we can. Cool, alright, TM Devolution. Do we want to ditch that? I don't know. I think we're going to go ahead of prizes, so we'll try and ditch the counter catcher for now. And we'll get ourselves a Gardy. Here we go. Very solid setup to begin with. Okay, so do we need to push? We don't need to push more. We have no Munkidori either, so I think that we just keep it at that. If we had a Munkidori in play, we could also push a bit more and just move some damage over. So, but 80 damage is fine. Next turn we'll try and get the Dark and Munkidori. There we go. Cool, and a Mystery Garden as well. Not bad, solid setup. Solid setup. So let's see what they can do now. So now they need a bosses, and then that uses their supports card for the turn to get the Jellicent out of the active spot. And we know with Kadabra that they're evolving to Kadabra means they're not going to get an Alakazam, which means they're not going to attack this turn. So the most they're going to do is 30. Artazon, nice. We can utilize Artazon as well. So we can Mystery Garden. We can Artazon first, get the Munkidori, then we can Mystery Garden. Super Rod. I don't think we need that for anything. Nope. Cool. Let's Artazon. Let's grab a Munkidori. Cool, stick that down so they can't utilize it themselves. And do we want to stick Fezandipiti down? Do we want to stick Fezandipiti down? I don't think we do at this moment in time. Alright, what can we do here? So we 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't really utilize. Can't really do anything here, I guess. We've got research in hand. Next time we can research, you can push a little bit. But I don't think there's much more that we really want to do here. So 80 damage, so we're doing 80, we'll get the knockout anyway here. It's just power press for the knockout. There we go, and knock that out. Nest Ball. Surprised they evolved the Kadabra, and I'll have to go back and watch, but pretty sure they could have evolved the Abra on the bench as opposed to the one in the active spot. Alakazam, okay. Well, you need a Rare Candy for that. Unless you've got another Kadabra in deck, I don't know. But yeah, Iono's really strong in this matchup. I think we've used 1 so far. We've still got like another, what, 3 more in deck? Providing they're not prized. Cool, yeah, let's just Nest Ball. Anything we need with that? I guess we'll set up another just to be safe. I guess it's a bit... Do we research here or do we Lilies? The problem is we're ditching a Kirlia and a Gardy here, but I think we also still have Super Rod in deck as well, so we can get the Mac if we need to. Just want to push. Cool. There we go, there's a Dark. Let's take 1 and 2. Okay, so we can't get the knockout this turn, unfortunately, so we'll have to just target the Togepi for the moment. And the next turn, I presume they'll bring Aber into the active spot. I guess. I don't know, we'll see. Cool. Do we need anything more? I don't think. I think we're good. Let's just power press. And that's the thing. Just like item locking and just tool locking your opponent sometimes just prevents them from playing. That's the... sometimes a strategy in itself. I mean, Jellicent doesn't really do like a great deal of damage. I mean, 160 is not bad. But it's the fact that it just item locks your opponent. And they can't use tools, so... Why are they not getting the stage 1s out? I don't know, like... I think we have... What do we have? We've got... Yeah, we do have another energy, so we'll just put the other energy onto the Frillish, move it over and knock it out the Togepi, and then we just knock out active. If they don't bench anything... Okay, no, that changes things a little bit. They prolonged it a little bit longer. Do we have game, though? That's the question. I think we do have game. Actually, no. I was just wondering, how could we get game here? I'm just wondering if we get Screamtail. There probably is a way here. Pick this up. Latias, cool. Alright, I have to work this out in my head. Okay, let's pick up this Jellicent. Let's put that active. Right, I probably should have checked if Screamtail is in there. That would be a start. But we're going to assume it is. I think I saw Screamtail. There we go. Cool. Right, let's know what we're doing. We need to Psychic Embrace. 1, 2, and 3. So then we hit the Aber on the bench. So we're doing 2, 4, 6, 120. We remove 30 damage. Okay. So remove 30, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, still knockout. Cool. I think that's fine. Yep. Stick. Just 20 is all we need. That's fine. We'll keep the rest of the damage on there. I don't know if there was like another way. To be honest, I probably didn't even need Screamtail. Probably could have done that another way, but either way, that is game. Probably could have done that another way. I think just with the damage alone, move it and knock out. Probably, but either way. Either way. So we won by the donk. By the donk. So very, very good. Nice. So, yeah, pretty short game, but let's go play another one and let's play another matchup with this and see how it goes. Okay, so just as I was trying to get a second game, there's been a routine server maintenance scheduled thing. So yeah, as you can see, there's an issue loading TCG Live because of this maintenance check that they're doing. So that kind of sucks, but at the very least, I hope even with that one game that you've been able to see how strong the deck is, even with Jellicent in there, just item locking your opponents and stopping them from doing anything. But yeah, really, really strong deck. Was the first place list from the Champions League event over in Japan. I will leave the description box, in the description box, the deck list if you want to go and try it out yourself, maybe after this maintenance check, maybe. But yeah, if you do like this type of content and you'd like to see some more content related to the Pokemon trading card game, then as always, be sure to hit the subscribe button and of course like this video. That would be amazing. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. There is the first places for you from the Champions League tournament. That is the Gardevoir build that won the event. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you all in the next one.